Doesn't really make very much sense to me, honestly. I'm not going to really lie about it. You know, you know me, Mike. I think we both have a healthy respect for the Jets organization. I mean, we talk very highly about them. I've loved just about everything they've done over the last 2.5 years. Joe Douglas has killed it in free agency, draft. Saleh, I love his energy. The defense, look how they're playing, flying around. It's fun to watch, all of that. This quarterback situation, I don't agree. I don't agree with anything. I don't agree with the approach and what they did last week. I don't. You know, I do think they're letting the fan base and WFAN radio run the team a little bit with this conversation. I know Zach Wilson looked like shit, like absolute crap against the New England Patriots. But so did the rest of the team. They couldn't run it all. They couldn't protect it all. They know that. They recognize that. Did he miss some throws? Yes, I get it. All right? But damn. You know, to me, this was a game where last week they played the Bears. And Mike White, I don't want to look like a hater to Mike White, Mike. I really don't. He played really good. I'm very happy for him, and I hope he takes advantage of the opportunity. Mine is more about the process and the overall where we're going as an organization, and that's where it bothers me. That was a game last week where you don't bench Zach Wilson. That's the game where you go, hey, guy that's 5-2 that hasn't been awesome and struggled, now you're finally going to get to play a defense that sucks because you played like the 7 worst defenses a quarterback could play in your 5-2 stretch. Now you get to play the Bears and get the confidence going and get some momentum going and get feeling good, right? And to me, that goes the opposite direction. Listen, I don't know if Zach Wilson would have played as well as Mike White. I'll say probably not. Mike White's got a good feel. He did a good job. But he still would have played good, and they would have won 28-10 with Zach Wilson. Oh, my gosh. They still would have won. The Bears' defense stinks, and they were missing their 3 best players on their defense, right? They ran the ball at will. They protected easily. Everything was there to then, hey, guy that's supposed to be the future of organization, here's some growth. Here's an opportunity to get going. We've taken some lumps on the hard part of the schedule. So now let's grow and get some confidence. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. I don't know where you go back. And I know they're playing the Vikings this week, Mike, and the Vikings' pass defense stinks. He's going to put up good stats. The Vikings don't stop anybody.
It's horrible.
Yes. Right. So I don't know where they
except when they absolutely need to.
Right.
The only time they stop you is when they absolutely need to. Like in the Thanksgiving night game, the pass rush was non-existent for 55 minutes. And then all of a sudden, they're the purple people eaters all over again. Like it's just weird how they can, when they absolutely have to, find a way to make it happen. Okay, so are you are you saying that
yes,
the version that's out there, is fairly simple. And when I spoke to Mike White on Sunday, it really resonated because I said to him, what have you learned during your time of playing last year and having an extended period off? And he said, one thing I learned last year is, because he had the great game against Cincinnati, he got injured against the Colts on the Thursday night. He was back for a game 10 days later against the Bills, and they got beat 45-17. He threw 4 interceptions and no touchdown passes. He learned, don't try to be a hero. Don't try to win the game with every throw. Just run the offense, and things will take care of themselves. It's kind of like that's what they're saying they want Zach Wilson to learn.
Right.
That he's getting so caught up in trying to be Patrick Mahomes that he's not taking care of. Check the box. Footwork, check downs,
sure,
short throws that should be automatic. Do you accept that is an accurate and truthful presentation of reality by the Jets?
I do. I don't think that's I don't look at that and go, oh, that's egregiously wrong. No. There is things right now where I feel like Zach Wilson at times is trying to be next level, and I want to go, no, you still need to do it by the book right now. You're not at the next level phase. You're not at the phase of, wait, I'm going to stand like this like Josh Allen and look over here to move underneath coverage, or Patrick Mahomes and move this guy that's over here and get him to move, and then just throw a ball like that with my body cockeyed and my feet cockeyed. And I think that's what they're talking about a little bit. That's the things you see from Zach Wilson. He's making throws, to 12 o'clock with his feet at 9 and 3 and just go, I'll get it there. I got talent and blah, blah, blah. And he's just not schooled enough and played enough to be able to do some of that. That's high level. Wait, I've played. I'm a machine the normal way, and I can freelance and still be a machine because I became such a machine the normal way. That he's not there yet. So there is things to work on there. There's no doubt. But it's not to the point to me to where you bench him. I mean, again, 2 weeks before that against the Bills, it wasn't like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. But it was still, oh, my gosh, there's a lot of damn good throws. And holy cow, did he do that? That was pretty good against the Bills defense, which is top number 2 in football. And so that's where, and I don't necessarily agree that, you can't work on mechanics and kind of get ready for a football game. And I don't agree with that. I don't. And sometimes the mechanics get better when you start to get a little confidence and go, oh, wait, let me get my foot in the ground. I got a completion here. Wait, I'm feeling good. And, that's where I don't. And the big thing is, Mike, the overall thing here is, hey, they're doing great. We know they're in the playoff conversation, and they're in the playoffs right now. But still, nobody expected them to be here. The big thing this year was continue to the future, build the future. And Zach Wilson, you put all these assets to make him the future and the number 2 pick in the draft. And now, you're in. I mean, I think you're in danger of ruining it. I really do. I don't know how you're not pissed off if you're Zach Wilson. I don't know how you're not. You go, wait, I did all the things you just talked about, Mike. I took care of the ball and did all the right things in a 5-game win streak, and then we lost a game and got our asses whooped in every phase, and all the blame went to me. And I know I said no after the press conference, and that was not a good look. I get it. But, gosh, it's not the most egregious thing we've ever seen in the history of the world. I just don't know where it goes from here. That's where I'm a little confused. And I just think you take your lumps right now with Zach Wilson and continue to build on that, like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields.
I think that what's going on is very simple. I always try to keep it very simple.
Right.
That's, I said earlier I'm not stupid, but I'm also not smart. So I try to keep it to something I can manage and understand. I think that they are having serious questions as to whether or not he is the guy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
They are doing this timeout, rub his face in it thing as a way to get him to mature,
right,
and accept, because only they know how he conducts himself in meetings. Only they know whether he's truly engaged, whether he's truly a student of the game. They are the only ones who know where he is right now in year 2 of his career. Is he a guy that's going to need a homework clause in his second contract? I mean, are they trying to force him? Is this tough love where they're trying to get him to break in the right direction where he becomes what they need him to be, or it goes the other way and we just say, see you later.
Yeah.
And we've kind of maintained some trade leverage and some plausibility. So if we just decide at the end of the season, we're just going to get what we can and move on, we haven't completely destroyed him. We're not going to get, a first-round pick for him.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like they're doing this because they realize we just need to get to the end of this. We need to accelerate this process. What do we really have here? We need to know what we have here. Do we have somebody who's going to grow up? Or do we have somebody who's going to grow out? And we're finding it out now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they're doing.
Maybe.
And they're putting the best possible spin on it so it isn't an obvious slap in the face. Even though, Chris, as he's standing there out of uniform, we were talking about this.
This was a slap in the face.
Throughout the day on Sunday.
Right.
Well, let him be the backup.
Right.
How's he number 3? It doesn't make any sense
No.
that he's emasculated.
Yeah.
He's a football player without a uniform,
Right.
and he's healthy.
Right.
That's a slap in the face.
Yeah, exactly right. It is. That's where, it's a bad look. I don't know where it goes. And like we said, I don't know if the Jets win this week, but I'd have a hard time, thinking Mike White's going to have a bad day statistically against the Vikings defense. And again, I do think that Zach Wilson gets held to a little bit of an unfair standard. I'll continue to say that. I will. And
I think anybody, but Chris,
well, I'm just saying,
that comes with that pedigree, that draft pedigree.
Well, I understand that.
He's the second overall pick in the draft.
But Justin
by the
Fields
Jets.
and Trevor Lawrence weren't held to that. It's a little bit the New York media too. Justin
Jacksonville.
Fields and them had
In
some
Jacksonville.
Yes, I know. I know, I get that.
I agree.
But that's where the
I agree with
organization's got to be a little tougher and go, this is WFAN and Joe the plumber from Queens who's never played football. He's starting an uprising here with the fans. And Joe the plumber that calls in is like, yo, I think they should play Mike White. He was awesome last year. And I want to go, wait, he was awesome? I was just watching last year, and he played 2.5 games and threw 8 interceptions, and nobody cared then. But then Zach Wilson has a game, and we just absolutely got to get rid of him and throw him down the river. And again, Mike, maybe you're right. My thing I'll say is, we know people connected to the Jets and other people. I've never heard that Zach Wilson wasn't well liked. All right, I've never heard anything like that. All right, and maybe they've done a great job of keeping that under wraps. But I feel like that's the type of thing, if work ethic and those type of things weren't going the right way, they get out. Just like we knew about Tua, who eventually admitted he didn't work or do things. We were hearing all those things because the players talk. Everybody talks. We haven't heard that. But I will say, like Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson's reactions after the game and the way they reacted with Mike White, yeah, that made me think, whoa, it seems like they don't like Zach Wilson and they really love Mike White. I do think that was a little bit of a weird look. I will say that. I mean, so maybe there is something to that in what you're saying there.
And remember how they rallied around him after the whole Milfinator?
The Milfinator, right. I mean, that's where all I kept
like their
hearing
hero.
Is, man, I've talked to players and people there, and they're like, man, we love him. Zach's like, we love him. He's one of our favorite guys. I mean, you couldn't talk. So that's where that doesn't connect with me. And then I don't know, did the locker room get turned around because we have, 2 young receivers who they let be immature and talk however they want, but there's no problem. They can do whatever they want. Garrett Wilson made comments in, Joe Flacco throws a nicer ball. He disrespected Zach Wilson back in training camp. I mean, so that's where I don't agree with what they've done here. And, you take your lumps, especially when you're going 5-2 and you build something here for the future. And look at what Trevor Lawrence had some games that were pitiful this year where I go, oh my gosh, he missed a touchdown. He missed a third down. He threw an interception at a big moment. But we're starting to see now he's coming out of the woods, and he carried the team the other day. And same with Justin Fields. I mean, they didn't even want to throw the ball with Justin Fields early in the year. They didn't know what he would do. He was going 7 for 21 for 47 yards, and they were like, let's not throw any more. That was too much. And then they found some things, and he got a little tougher, and they worked through it, and now he's unstoppable. That's where I just don't agree with the overall procedure, and we'll see where it goes. But I do think it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.